Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 I just noticed that there was verse recitation, which I forgot.
I think we can just move forward.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Sure.
Yeah. Siddhim prapto yata brahma tatapnuti nibodhame samasenaiva kunteya nistagyanasya japara. Siddhim, perfection. Prapta, achieving. Yata, as. Brahma, the supreme. Tata, so. Apnuti, one achieves. Nibbodha, try to understand. Me, from me. Samasina, summarily. Eva, certainly. Kunteya, O son of Kunti. Nista, the stage. Jnanasya, of knowledge. Ya, which. Para, transcendental. O son of Kunti. Learn from me how one who has achieved this perfection can attain to the supreme perfectional stage Brahman, the stage of highest knowledge, by acting in the way I shall now summarize. Purport. The Lord describes for Arjuna how one can achieve the highest perfectional state simply by being engaged in his occupational duty, performing that duty for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One who attains the supreme stage of Brahman simply by renouncing the result of his work for the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord. That is the process of self-realization. The actual perfection of knowledge is in attaining pure Krishna consciousness that is described in the following verses. Om Agana Timarandasya Yanandana Salakya Shakshurun Minitam Yana Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Narati Swapadantikam Vandeham Siguro Siyuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaisnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Deva Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakam Vitam Sja He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Visabhana Sutta Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyacha Kripa Sindhubhyaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaisnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Siddhim praptu. Siddhim means perfection. Siddhim praptu. Perfection means fulfillment. Means it is stated that the living being is by nature anandamaya vyasat. Therefore, perfection, siddhi, means complete happiness. Such complete happiness, it's not like the speedometer, which at one point goes into maximum, into the red, and then it's reached the top speed. There's no such thing that happiness ever reaches its limit. Happiness by nature is unlimited. In this world, you get a dose, and guess what I have today? A dose of happiness. Yo, I'm getting it. How many drops would you like? Yes, happiness in small doses. Oh yes, sometimes big dose, but unlimited. Fulfillment here. That little sigh that comes out sometimes. Still not quite. Then, siddhim praptam. We're speaking now about perfection. Speaking now about complete freedom, not burdened in any way. In the Bhagavatam, there is a purport which I very much like, and I have been speaking about it. It is, for those who are good at numbers, 1637 of the Bhagavatam, and it is the freedom purport. And in that purport, basically Narada Muni has just instructed Vyasadeva, who was despondent, because Vyasadeva had written the Vedas. Now the Vedas is perfect exalted literature, so how was Vyasadeva despondent? Vyasadeva was despondent, so it is stated, because he had not sufficiently described the ultimate goal of life, Krishna, and devotional service to Krishna. So Narada Muni makes this point clear, and then after Narada Muni who is his teacher, has made this point clear, then Narada is ready to go. Now Narada is an especially empowered personality who travels in a body that is purely spiritual. Our bodies are whatever they are, but not purely spiritual. So he travels in a purely spiritual body. And therefore, he is completely free to go wherever he desires. And there's a verse that says like that. And Prabhupada just goes into some sort of trance. He takes off on Narada was leaving at his free will, and then writes a purport where he describes how devotional service is completely the perfection of freedom, and that not only freedom from obstacles, but freedom to fully express everything. We can't imagine that, because we're so used to be limited by something, limited by time, limited by space, limited by age, limited by strength, limited in whatever we have, always limited. And within boundaries is one of these things. Yes, within boundaries, we are expressing ourselves, right? So, boundless. Siddhim prapti. Siddhim prapto. Siddhim means boundless. Boundless. Who can imagine? Who can imagine? We can only imagine. How can one who is in chains, how can one who has to wear this costume, I saw a play of Hansel and Gretel, and oh yes, it started with a person who was with Krishna in the spiritual domain, and yet somehow desired independence, and then had to take all these coverings, a subtle covering, a gross covering, and was weighed down by these coverings, and then appeared in the cradle with a baby head. The actor was 2 meters tall, or that is, what is that, 6 feet 10 or whatever, something more. Whatever it is, 6 and a lot. Right? And he was lying in a huge cradle with a huge baby head on, and his big feet were waving at the audience. He was now embodied. What to do? And it all began. The whole fairy tale started right there and there. Hansel met Gretel, and so many things came. And it was all about gingerbread. Life was about gingerbread. What can be said? That's what life is about, in case you had doubt. So, coming from that kind of fairy tale world, how can we understand what perfection is? Siddhim prapto yata brahma. Yes, siddhim prapto yata brahma. Brahma is referring to a state of Brahma Bhutta. Brahma Bhutta is described, Brahma Bhutta prasanatma. That in the Brahma Bhutta stage, one is prasanatma, one is satisfied. In the Brahma Bhutta stage, one is realizing, I am spirit. However, complete realization of Brahman means also understanding that beyond Brahman there is Para-Brahman. Literally in Sanskrit, that's what it means, Para-Brahman, which is beyond Brahman. And what is beyond Brahman is described as the origin of Brahman. This Brahman Shakti, or this Brahman energy, is the all-pervading white light. I don't know if you have paid attention to that, but I did in the early 70s, sitting in Amsterdam in a white room, looking at a yantra on the wall, trying to focus my eyes. And the whiteness of the room was very white and bright, and trying to experience Brahman. I read Hermann Hesse, who wrote about Siddhartha, and Siddhartha sat at the stream, and Siddhartha listened to the water rushing by, and finally he realized that he was not this body. He realized that he had nothing more to do with this particular arrangement than he had with the stream, or than he had with the rocks. He had that deep realization that actually he didn't have a particular deeper relationship with this little bit of energy than with the floor that it is sitting on. Equally temporary. Some molecules packed together in temporary relationship. One might say nice molecules, nicely arranged molecules, but then a temporary arrangement anyway. A beautiful arrangement of building blocks. Gone. Illusion. Illusion. They asked Prabhupada, so, is it that a pure devotee knows the answer to all questions? Prabhupada said, yes. Then how many windows in the Empire State Building? Prabhupada said, how many drops of water in a mirage? Illusions. Shapes and forms, illusions. What is our relationship with these things? Sandcastle. The sandcastles that I built are now memories. I didn't build one for a long time, but the ones that I did on the beach, because I'm a beach boy, I'm from the beach, I grew up on the beach. Did I build sandcastles? Not little sandcastles, sand cities. And then, whoosh, gone. Yeah, all the temporary connections. So Brahman lifts us above all temporary connections, and Para-Brahman is the origin of Brahman, and Para-Brahman is Krishna. That is the personal feature. The energy comes from the person. Oh, what a lovely painting. Oh, who painted it? Oh, what lovely energy. Who painted it? Who's the painter? Oh, isn't it? Oh, the material world. Oh, who painted it? Yeah, who's the painter? Oh, Krishna is the painter. Yeah. So in this way, who painted Brahman? Not only all this variety, all the temporary forms, a temporary city and a temporary country. Right? According to modern science, once upon a time, all the continents were together in one landmass, and continents are drifting. Right? So we learned in school, at least I learned in my school, continents are drifting, and once the whole landmass is all together, and you can still sort of see how the pieces of the puzzle were fit together. What do we make of that? Well, Bhagavatam is also saying that an original landmass was existing and it was cut into 7 pieces. So, there we go. Confirmed in Vedic literature. That's interesting. Some parallels. Yes. And then, so one day, no more New York. One time, no more America. One time, all this will change. Time will change it all. What can be said? But Brahman, not affected, will stay. So that is very good. That energy is eternal. But still, the energy of a person, an eternal person, it's difficult to understand that the Supreme can be a person because persons are limited. Persons are limited. So how can the origin of the all-pervading energy be a person? That is bewildering, difficult to understand. And yet, it is the case. Let me take you to Vrindavan, the place of Krishna, where he performed his pastimes. It is a small mental journey which doesn't take very long. We can be there in a moment. Vrindavan. We will go to the Yamuna, on the banks of the Yamuna. we will go to Brahmanda Ghat. This Brahmanda Ghat, what place is that? I'll tell you in a moment. Once Krishna was young, a boy, playing with his friends daily in the forest. One day there was politics. The boy said that Krishna had eaten clay. Krishna said, gosh, I mean, it's a total lie. It is a complete lie, you know what I mean? And I can't believe it, that they do this to me. I mean, we had a fight today. We had a bad fight today. And they are trying to take revenge, and they're making all these false accusations. I mean, I can't believe it, that they take it so far. How can this, how can they speak like this, I mean, me eating clay, ridiculous. Who would eat clay? You know what I mean? Clay? Why would you eat clay? Krishna, you're lying. My own mother doesn't believe me. My own mother, your son is speaking and you're doubting him. If you don't believe me, look in my mouth and see for yourself if I've eaten clay. Okay, open your mouth. And Krishna opened his mouth. And what was there? Quite a bit of clay. A lot of clay. In fact, she saw the whole universe in his mouth. The whole universe. Now, is that clay or not? That's what I call a lot of clay. Right. Ooh, Krishna was caught. And next moment, in that universe, as she's looking in his mouth, she sees herself. She sees Krishna with an open mouth, and in that mouth there's again the universe. And then she looks there, and then she sees again herself and Krishna in that mouth, and in that mouth also, and it just goes like many, many levels deep. So she's there like standing, head spinning as to what's happening to me. I'm losing it. Right? I'm losing it bad. I mean, am I going nuts right now? Then she's thinking, no, how could this be? I have no history of insanity. How could I just go insane right now? No, that doesn't make sense. Then what could it be? Maybe it's Deva Maya. Demigods who are in the skies. They can control many forces. Maybe it's Deva Maya. Could be. Why would these celestial beings interfere in the life of an ordinary woman like me? No, it can't be that. Then is it maybe true what I'm seeing? And is maybe my son not my son? Is he maybe the Supreme? Is he maybe actually the Supreme Lord, the origin of everything? And am I maybe not the Queen of Vrindavan and all these things? And for a moment she understood Krishna's omnipotency, his greatness. And then she saw him crawling on the floor and she forgot again. All right, that is the story of Krishna who had eaten clay. Now let's look at this. This is interesting because we are looking in the mouth of Krishna and we're seeing the universe, isn't it? And yet, at the same time, Krishna is within the universe. So how is it possible that he's in the universe and we see the universe in him? Now, how does that mathematically add up? Confusing. How is it possible? See, now let's think like this. If you have a personality, he is God. Okay, Krishna's personality is God. Let's, for argument's sake, accept it. Yeah? And you have all-pervading energy. Then you would sort of say, Krishna plus all-pervading energy is divinity, right? Whatever that divinity is. I mean, that would be mathematically how you would think. Krishna and the energy, correct? But it's not like that. Krishna is everything. He's everything. He is all that energy also. It's within him, and yet without him. Scratch your head, as I'm doing. I would have never believed it, but if not Mother Yasoda saw it with her own eyes. She saw it. He was in the universe, and the universe was within him. He is everything, and yet everything also seems to exist separate from him. It seems to be so. So, bewildering, but that is the case. So this Brahman energy is just expanding from Krishna. That's what it is. And then, because it's an energy of Krishna, it transforms and takes so many forms. And so, we have a body made of that energy. So we have some wood made of that energy. Everything made of that energy, whatever we see. Like that. Everything rests on spiritual energy. So, but we're all so absorbed in the temporary things, in all the temporary manifestations, in the street where we live, in the part of town where we stay, in our circle of friends. I have the maximum number of Facebook friends. I'm not sure if they're all my friends. I hope so. One time, one guy posted on my page, he posted, "This is the year to kill a guru." I go, this is getting scary. This is getting weird. This is getting, block, report. That's only once in my life I blocked and reported. But that one, I blocked him, I reported him, and it's sort of calling the police on the guy. A creep. What to do? Scary. But yeah, all in temporary forms. So, siddhim prapto yata brahman, to be on that eternal platform. That is right. But when we realize this eternity, when we really realize we're not this body, that we are not part of this material energy, and that we as spiritual beings exist separate, that will bring us happiness, but it's still not complete. Still what is missing, Brahma Bhutta Prasanatma, Nakang Satina Sosati. One comes to the Brahma Bhutta stage, one is Prasanatma, fully satisfied. Nakang Satina Sosati, there's no hankering and no lamenting. One is free from all hankering and lamenting. But then at that stage, Mad Bhaktim Labhate Param, then one should engage in bhakti, which is the superior activity. In the positive activity. As I told you, I'm from the Netherlands, and there is Amsterdam. Now, my father didn't live in Amsterdam, so neither did I. We just lived just outside the city. He was a commuter, right? We lived in a nicer area, it's like 45 minutes drive to his job. And then just from where we stayed, there was a place, a very small town, and that town was called Halfway. It's halfway, There's nothing happening in Halfway, nothing. Well, That's exactly what this Brahman realization is. It's halfway. It's halfway. A place where nothing happens. Finally, you've realized it. All these forms of this world are just illusion. And actually what is real is the all-pervading spiritual energy. And guess, and now we are there, in that state, in that consciousness. And guess what's going on? And what's going on tonight in that state of Brahman? Nothing. Nothing going on. It's halfway. Nothing is going on in halfway. Nothing ever goes on in halfway. They have nothing. Not even a bar, nothing in halfway. Nothing going on. Yes. The first half is to free ourselves from the identification with matter. That's halfway. The other half is to take up the positive activity, the service. Mad bhaktim labhate param, to serve the Supreme. But you cannot serve an energy. Serve an energy. It sounds, you can serve a person. See? Service, because service is an expression of love. And love is related to personality, it's related to taste. Krishna has a taste. Oh yes. Prabhupada would teach how to cook for Krishna. No health food for Krishna. Oh no. Krishna doesn't like health food. Krishna is young. He's not on a diet. He wants like tasty things, like fried and stuffed and delicious sweets that are like dripping. And when you bite, the juice squirts out of them and runs over your tongue in all directions. A little sticks on your lips. Taste. So here's a personality. Here's that's where we're going. So siddhim prapto yata brahma, we went further. Tatapnoti, tata apnoti. So achieves. And then one has to ultimately understand that beyond this Brahman is the person. Then it starts happening. Then starts the exchange. Because then we on a personal level can also invest. And we are part of his energy. So we are servants. It is service that sets us free. It is in service that we find complete fulfillment. Devotional service. Savai pumso paro dharmo yato bhaktira duksha je aitaki apatiyata yatma supasidati. It is said that pure devotional service is unmotivated. There's nothing that we want in return from it. No hidden agenda, nothing that we try to attain to it. And it is uninterrupted. And that yayatma suprasidati. The word suprasidati is an interesting word because it is a compound word, right? It is, first there's siddhati. Siddhati is a form of being satisfied. Siddhati. Then prasiddhati. Pra means prakrista rupena, means in its full-fledged form. So you could say fully, completely satisfied. And then Su in front of it, suprasidati, Su in front of it is magnifying it. So you could say ultra, if I would say Su, translate ultra completely satisfied. That's what it would be. Ultra completely satisfied. So that's the idea. Fulfillment, complete fulfillment in service. But it's not a passive state of fulfillment. Now, I got it. I reached it. I'm there. Oh, you're there. Oh, please tell us, what is it like? Well, when you're there, you're kind of like, you're just really there. You're fulfilled. You're just in this stage of like, you're just, just completely happy. No, it's not like that. It's active. It's not passive. It is active. It is active service. It is active expression of love. Let us look at that. One thing might help a little to catch it, and that is a point that I find very significant from the Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila chapter 4. It is about Radharani, who is the greatest devotee of Krishna. She serves him in full love, right? Now, it's said there is a competition between the love of Radharani and the qualities of Krishna. So whenever she discovers a new quality of Krishna, then her love embraces that quality also. She loves that quality also. And then she finds another quality, and she loves that also. And her whole being is aimed at pleasing Krishna. So service is aimed at pleasing Krishna. And we can think about a mother and a child. The biggest thing is to please the child somehow or other. Make the child happy. That is the happiness. Right? So we have many examples, right? Even in the love in this world. Making somebody else happy makes you happy. Right? Supposedly. In this world, it's not always pure, or always not completely pure. But on the spiritual platform, completely pure. So this siddhi that is described here goes a bit further than what we understand immediately from the text. I'm basically bringing the rest of the book to the text, right? And in that way, I'm explaining siddhi. I mean, if you say, well, you read a lot into this text, which we didn't read here. Yeah, we didn't read anything about personality. We only read about Brahma. How about that? About Brahman energies. Yeah, that's very good. But have you read the rest of the book? Right? You cannot isolate one verse from a book. Right? Obviously, you have to take the verse in the context of the whole book. And my explanation is that, right? I've placed the verse in the context of the book. That's what I did so far, so that we can understand that there is a person behind it all. And that is the essence. Think of it like this. Everywhere in this world, you see personality. Isn't it so? We see in this room people from all over, with roots from all over the world, right? I mean, so, and everyone looks very different. We have them in all sizes, and so on. Then, everyone a personality. Animals, distinct personalities. Plants, personality. Flower. I've got flowers around my neck, and each one has its own personality. These flowers were growing, and they were individuals. So everywhere we see individuality and personality. And then we say, if there is a creator, right, then he wouldn't be a personality. But how is that when there's personality in his creation? Usually the creation reflects the creator. I mean, look at a car. Did you ever look at a car? Have you noticed that the car has two eyes? Have you seen it? A car is on all fours, Have you seen that a car, right? A car has a place to put the fuel. A car has a tank. A car has an exhaust pipe. Right? A car has a nerve system, right, in the electric wiring. And a car has veins where the juice of life is flowing. Right? I mean, you see how much a car looks like a human being? Yeah. It's just because it's created by human beings, so it relates to us. Creation. Same a house, the house also has the same thing. Also exhausted in everything. So, in that way, houses, eyes in the form of windows, see these things. So we see creation and creator. Yes. So, creation is a person. Isn't it much easier to relate to a person, actually? Think about it. Isn't it more emotionally we can do more with it? Maybe intellectually it may be one thing. So intellectually, well, I don't know if I can really relate to that concept of personhood in God or not. I mean, I would say that philosophically it could be quite logical that actually there is no person, right? Because one could say, let me say something logical there. We could definitely say that whatever is matter is not spirit. Would that make sense? Well, whatever is I'll get rid of the Oxford accent in a moment, but it's still stuck on my tongue. Whatever is matter is not spirit. That makes sense. Whatever is spirit is not matter, I would say. All right. So, therefore, whatever qualities matter might have, spirit cannot have. Therefore, I would say that, if personality exists in matter, then it definitely could not exist in spirit. So, is that clear? Logical, indeed. All right. Interesting, and boring at the same time. How about Plato? How about the cave? How about that? The cave, there's all these people, they are chained in a cave with their back to the opening. They have never seen the way out of the cave. And outside the cave there is a fire and people are walking by, and that casts shadows on the wall inside the cave. And the people in the cave sit there chained up and they see the shadows on the wall. So oftentimes life is boring in the cave. It's quiet. You sit there chained up, nothing going on. But sometimes it's happening. Hey, the shadows are here and the sound effects are there. And you see shadows and sound effects, and that's what it is. Of course, we know that is described. One person became free, went out of the cave and saw real human beings in flesh and blood. It's a projection. We're only seeing the shadows. There's a whole other thing. And Plato presented there's an ideal world, and the material realm is the shadow, the reflection of the ideal world. Right? Well, that's another possibility. And there you go. There you go. Say, there is a spiritual world, which is the origin of the material world. The material world is the shadow. And there are personalities and bodies and so on, but not smelly ones. You know, no need perfume and all kinds of cover-ups. No need to spend any money on makeup. Not required. There, unlimited, natural beauty. Freshness, ever freshness. No pain in the back, no pain in the front. No itch, nothing. Sublime, spirit, fully happy. Material world, the shadow, the shadow. So it says all the variety of matter exists on the spiritual plane. So Vedic literature is with Plato. The Bhagavatam, the Bhagavad-gita, is also seeing the material energy as a reflection of the original, perfect, spiritual energy. So, and that's why all the desires that we have in this world, we have so many desires, you know. I mean, desires for love, desires for power. What else you desire? Desire to fly, desire to eat, and here, you eat, and then after a short while, even if I bring you favorite preparation, guess what I've got for you? Your favorite preparation. Oh, take it away. Oh, but you love this, I know. Oh, I can't look at it. It's a fool. There you can eat. Never full. Never limited. Who can understand? So the spiritual realm is a realm which is eternal, full of variety. Okay, now we have I put some energy into discussing that God is a person, and I'm almost done with this talk. I just wanted to say one more thing, and that is this, is that, okay, if God would be a person, what would he be like? Well, he would be... Now, before I do that, I should come back to our philosopher. So our philosopher from Oxford came with another approach. I present the reflection theory. He presents the opposites theory. Yes. Now, intellectually, we can argue about it for a long time, and, will we ever come to an agreement? Doubtful. But emotionally, it's less satisfying to go the Oxford way. If there's no variety, no taste, no experience, halfway, emotionally, the personal concept is more satisfying. Now I go to the person. So then we find descriptions of Krishna. He's a person. He is the supreme controller. He is the supreme. Yes, he's omnipotent, he is omniscient, he is omnibenevolent, he's all these things, right? What else is he? He is playful, He's not sitting on a throne, looking down on these little worm creatures in the world. Oh my gosh, look at them. They live so short, they are so small, so insignificant. Okay, they pop pops, another one pops off, another one, another. God, they die like all the time. These little creatures. Anyway, but if they turn to me and pray, I'll send them benedictions. Is that him? No, that's not him. What he is doing, he is playful. He is engaged in a wonderful play, an exchange of love and emotions, and playing with feelings and playing with experiences of all his devotees. And they are playing with his also. There's an exchange, loving exchange. That, a loving exchange, a loving play of feelings. Hey, suddenly we don't have to be rational anymore. All that rationalism, yes, where rationalist philosophers have attempted to ascertain what is truth and try to be objective. We're not going to be objective. I object because we have emotions. Now we're beginning to open up to that, the intuitive approach. Both sides are there. In the personal concept, there's room for all. There is room for an unlimited Supreme Lord, who is the origin. And there is room for full emotional expression. And Krishna fits the bill because he's unlimitedly beautiful. He is unlimitedly powerful. He is all-knowing. He is having all fame, all beauty, is that. He has all renunciation also. He's detached at the same time. He's not taking pride in all his attributes. See, we're not detached. So when I'm beautiful, I'm walking around like, I'm so beautiful. Like Narcissus, who fell in love with his own reflection in the water. Let me have a close-up look. Eventually fell in the water and drowned. But he's not like that. So the more we study the attributes of the personality Krishna, the more we see that if there was a God, it would have to be Krishna, because he has all the attributes that God should have. Therefore, we can logically debate it for a long time. Well, is it personal or impersonal? And I'm not convinced about your reasoning. I definitely disagree. Fine. But let's not go that way. Let's just explore who Krishna is. And the more we explore who Krishna is, the more he starts to make sense to us. Yes, he is divine. And so we can understand what siddhim, what perfection really means. Okay. Now I will end, and I'd like to hear from all of you some feedback. You can ask a question, you can tell me what you think of the lecture, you can somehow, some feedback would be nice.
Thank you for the wonderful class and for allowing me to play with it. It's an honor and a privilege. The best way to describe Krishna in the universe within the universe. It's like the director of a movie, that he shows up on the movie at the same time.
Mhm.
It's the only way we can compare. No, at that level, but it's kind of the director of the movie. He's part of the acting as well.
Yeah. Thank you. Nice. I didn't see, but it's whoever it was. Please speak up. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Thank you, Maharaj, for nice class. So you were talking about impersonal aspect of Brahman.
Yeah.
And you said that there is nothing in there. It is effulgence and there is nothing. I've heard one version that there is a suffering. Which one is more right?
Well, there is something, no variety. There is. It's not nirvana, which is the Buddhist concept where there's void. Brahman is not, the concept of Brahman is not void. Is there's an all-pervading spiritual energy that one is part of, and one is experiencing a sense of bliss, constant bliss. It's not that there is suffering per se. The suffering is here, like right now, I'm beginning to feel my legs from sitting for a long time on this cushion, and I'm just sort of thinking, if you don't mind, about one moment stretching this one leg. Oh, gosh. No, don't take my instrument away. No. Hey. Oh, that's all right. Just a little stretch for just a minute. Stretch is good for you. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. So it's not that level, or that you're just sitting there in the Brahmajyoti suffering. But ultimately, it's not fulfilling. There is happiness, great happiness, a sense of relief from all suffering, but it's not fulfilling, and then comes a sense of suffering. Then it's time to go from there. Then you come down from that place. Yeah, but it's not that we are there in a state of suffering. When we come to the suffering, then we come down to this world of variety again. So like that, there is suffering. But it's a moment of being aware, I'm not fulfilled. And then, coming down. Fulfillment only exists in a personal connection. Like that. Okay, we just do a little more Kirtan then. And that goes till 8, eh? Or till what?
It's fine, Maharaj.
Yeah, no, they just give me time schedules.
Good.
Sasha sends me time schedules, and then I'm trying to remember them.
We adjust day to day.
I see. Oh, see what happens then. Let me stretch the other leg also. Just 1 minute. Yeah. You can also stretch your leg if you have to. You're welcome. See, I want to cooperate with time schedule.